A community coming together to create a vision for the future. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Pennsylvania State Representative Chris Ross. Thanks so much for being with us.
Glad to be here.
We're talking about the historic East Linden project. This is a historic neighborhood that really is looking toward its future. Tell us a little bit about the history.
Well, it's a unique little section of Kennett Square Borough, just a couple of blocks, one block off of the main street in the middle of town. And going back over 100 years, basically, it was where a lot of these escaped slaves from the Underground Railroad were settled and provided some housing with the cooperation of some of the abolitionists who had helped ferry them out of the South. And so it's a very old neighborhood that's been, handed down to generations. But about 10 years ago, some of the people that had lived there for a long time, Teresa Bass in particular, were very worried about what was going on in the neighborhood. Things seemed to be deteriorating a little bit. There were outsiders who maybe were gang-related. She was worried maybe drugs were coming into the neighborhood. So she got together with a group of her neighbors, and they organized Historic East Linden Project. And they really did a tremendous amount of practical organizing to think about what needed to be done to make the neighborhood safer and improve it.
And let's get into some of the details, because they were actually able to apply for county grants, some state grants, as part of this overall project to work to improve quality of life within the community as a whole and for residents. They are doing everything from historic revitalization to landscaping to working to provide programs for kids.
Yep, all of the above. They started off obviously with stabilizing some of the houses and working with community development block grants through the county's economic development office. They also got grants from the state, which I was happy to help cooperate with under the Elm Street program that we'd instituted to help restabilize inner city and town neighborhoods, to control and upgrade the facades of some of the buildings, to help with the redevelopment of a couple of the houses that were deteriorating, get the sidewalks squared away, and then they also worked on greening the community, getting little gardens going and helping with that. But they also went more specifically to some of the social service aspects. Some of the kids were coming home and both parents were working. They were worried that that was a population that might be particularly vulnerable to being led astray by some of the bad elements that might be willing to prey on them. So they worked on a study buddy program where they had a place for the kids to come and do homework with some assistance and some tutoring, maybe even give them an evening meal. And then in the summertime they were working on lunch programs and cooperating with some of the other local agencies to give a summer camp opportunity for them. So a variety of different good things. They have a block party every year. They do some fundraising, and they really also have tied the neighborhood together so everybody's more aware. They're working with the local police for a night out and things like that, just to really strengthen the neighborhood.
And that really seems like it's at the heart of this project, bringing a community together, neighbors getting to know each other, residents coming together for a common purpose. And we just have a short time left, but can this project serve as really an example for other communities, other historic communities throughout the Commonwealth?
I think it's a tremendous example for communities with this kind of history, but also for any community. If you're caring about your kids and the neighborhood kids, it improves the safety of the neighborhood, and it also builds up pride, which is really what I think they've done a wonderful job with on the Linden Street.
Thanks for being with us.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
We've been talking with Pennsylvania State Representative Chris Ross. I'm Jill Horner.